Hello, everyone, and welcome to European Day of Languages, which hopefully will be tomorrow. What does it say about European Day of Languages, Alan?
Can you raise the screen a bit?
1 minute.
It's a day to encourage language learning across Europe.
Right, so this is why someone invented this day. This is why tomorrow they will do lots of different activities all over Europe in schools and in different places. Right then, Nieves, what do we need to know?
There are between 6,000 and 7,000 languages in the world, with about 225 indigenous languages in Europe. Most of the world's languages are spoken in Asia and Africa. At least half of the world's population are bilingual or plurilingual. They speak or understand 2 or more languages. Bilingualism makes the learning of additional languages easier and enhances the thinking process.
So this is what some people think, that there are many languages, but most of the languages are spoken in Asia or Africa. Of course, Asia has China, which is so big, no? And they say that if you are bilingual, you are more intelligent in the sense that you think in a different way and you react. And once you've learned 2 languages, learning more languages should be easier. Some of our students, Alan, speak 3 languages.
Really?
They speak Arabic or the dialect of Darija at home, then Spanish for school and the normal life, and English, which they are learning. So, and they could do French as well at school. So they have to learn quite a few languages. Okay, guys, we're going to try and go to this page and do a little exercise here. I was trying to think of, what should we do? This one. Now, it's complicated. We're only going to do it for a bit of fun, right? Now, I'm going to point to a square, and you have to try and tell me what language you think it is saying hello. So, Annie, what language do you think this one is?
Sorry?
This language is saying hello. Which one do you think it is?
Hello?
Yeah,
Is
in
this,
which language? In
you,
Russian, in French, in Arabic, in Swedish? Which language do you think this one is?
Oh, Arabic. You click the Arabic one.
Right. Oh dear, she's come to life. Right, Alan. What language do you think this one is, Alan, please?
I think it's Italian.
Right, so I need to find Italian. Just give me a second. I can't see it. Just it must be further down. Just a sec.
The orange and the yellow.
The orange and the yellow. Wait a minute. Is it further down? No, it's not further down.
Then it's close to your arrow now.
Ah, Italian. There.
Yes.
Thank you. Right, are we ready? Do you know what this one is, Nieves?
Merhaba. Wow.
It begins with a T. Is that one? I think it begins with a T, Nieves.
Oh my goodness.
Turkish?
Turkish.
Is it Turkish?
I think so.
Very
right.
Good.
I don't know all of them.
Right.
Now, we'll go for the easy ones. This one, Annie, this one. It begins with an M. This begins with an M.
Maltese.
Okay. Alan,
is that
what's
Maltese?
this? Yeah, what's this one, Alan?
Oh, Spanish.
Oh, Alan, you got that one right. Okay, now it gets difficult. It's the look of the game. I do not know the next one. Let's try this one, Nieves.
Hello.
Yeah, but I think it begins with a G, but I'm not sure.
Hello, is German?
I'm not sure. It's just a look at the game. Oh, we did
Yes.
it. Right. This one, Annie.
French.
Maybe. Right. Now it's difficult. I can't help anyone because I do not know. This one, Alan.
Oh, my goodness. Let me think. Would it be Albanian?
I didn't know it was Russian or Albanian. No. So maybe it was Russian, Alan. Okay, no
Russian.
problem. Maybe. I'm not sure. This one, Nieves, just go for it.
I think it's Russian.
This one, Russian? No, it's not, but I'll do it for you.
No?
No. Right. This one, Annie?
Russia.
We can't have Russian now. You've only got Bulgarian and Greek or Swedish.
Bulgarian.
Let's try it. Oh, we got another one. And Alan, you've got eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Ooh.
This one. Which one, Alan? Swedish or Greek?
Swedish.
Go.
No?
Oh, yes. And this
No,
one?
mine was Greek.
So
Yeah,
these three
mine was
are wrong.
Greek.
And we need to, sorry, I thought this was Russian because it looked very similar to Ukraine, for example, no? But I wasn't sure at all, so it was just a guess. Right, okay. So, Alan, what languages do you speak at home?
Do you speak at home? Well, English, of course, because I'm from the UK.
Right, and you, Nieves?
We're Spanish all the time.
Right, and Annie?
Indonesian and Bali language.
So you speak two, no, Annie?
Yes. Yes.
And I speak two. So I speak to myself in English, to my daughters in English, but they answer me in Spanish.
Oh.
So we have a thing. I go in English, they come back in Spanish. So we have two languages at home. Right. Alan, what languages would you like to learn one day?
Well, certainly Spanish. That's my #1 priority. I've made a start, but I've got a long way to go. But I'd like to be fluent in Espanol.
Right, you would like to do Spanish. And you, Nieves?
Well, I would like to get in better in English first.
We've got places.
Maybe after that, some French.
Right.
Probably.
And Annie?
Korean.
Korean. I'm quite happy with my English and Spanish. People say I should learn Arabic or Darija, which is from Morocco. But I tried a few words and I felt so ridiculous. I understand what people feel when they're learning English, but I just haven't got the hearing for that language. I just can't hear it very well. Alan, how many languages can you name?
Oh, gosh. Languages? Well, obviously English, Italian, German, French, German, or Aleman, I think it's called. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
German. Arabic, I think I've mentioned Arabic. And that's about as many as I can recall at the moment.
Right, so you have to go a bit like this because otherwise you get confused, no? So
scanning around the world.
So we could have many like Scandinavian, Finnish, Norwegian, Chinese. Yes, there are so many that we could name, no? Right, Nieves. So if I say a country, you may be able to tell me the language they speak, right? Just for a little bit of fun, okay?
I will try.
We will try. Island.
Sorry?
Ireland,
Irish, isn't it?
Scotland,
Scottish.
Wales,
Wow, I don't remember. I knew it.
Alan, are you
I
going
went
to help?
Yes, please.
Well, it's on the tip of my tongue. They've got a language all of their own.
Welsh,
Oh, well,
Oh,
yeah.
Welsh.
Yeah, well, okay,
Welsh.
Welsh.
Annie, France,
French,
Italy,
Italian,
Yeah.
Belgium,
Belgium, Belgium.
Belgian. You do one with an A
Oh,
and one with a
Belgian.
U. It's
Okay.
very simple. Portugal,
Portuguese,
Portuguese, German. Oh, Germany,
German,
Turkey,
Turkish,
Turkish, Sweden,
Swedish,
Finland,
Finland.
Finn. It's difficult.
Oh
This
my
is why I
God.
give it you this one. So we could go on for a lot more, but we will leave it there. Right, Alan,
Do you
do
think
you think
languages?
languages affect how we think? If so, how?
Well, yeah, of course it does, and I wish I were fluent in more than one language. And of course, I always think in English, even though I'm trying to say a conversation in Espanol. I'm thinking English really, but it doesn't come out quite as it does in Espanol. So it's difficult, really. I find it very confusing, but it certainly does affect how you think. There's no doubt about that. I have to stop and think that you switch the sentence the other way around. You know, the verb becomes before the noun and so on. But I'm thinking in English all the time because that's all I know. I was never taught a foreign language at school, so I'm at a disadvantage in a way.
So I'm going to give you a piece of advice, Alan. Do as much listening as possible, and whenever possible, think in Spanish. You have to train yourself to think in
Yes,
Spanish.
of course. I
Because
realize
otherwise it gets very confusing. What
that.
about
Yes.
you, Nieves? You know English and Spanish. Do you know another language by any chance?
No, just
Right.
English and Spanish.
Okay, then. So, knowing these two languages, do you think it changes your outlook on life? This is what it wants to mean. Does it affect the way you think?
It's well, it's not just what affected my way of think. It was not just speaking another language, but yeah, living among people that speak another language. Yes, it changed my way of thinking, to be honest. But living with them, talking with them, the way that they express differently to Spanish people, yes, they did.
So, speaking two languages, you can see two cultures.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
That's
this,
what I
you can
mean.
take, you maybe as a person, it affects you in one way or another. And then the second question, when you're speaking English, what do you thinking?
Well, I need to try hard to think, and I need to think slowly because I'm trying to think on English. So it makes me feel more calm because I need to sit down, relax, and start to thinking in English. So I calm myself when I try to speak in English because I need more time to think. It's not like in Spanish that I think and I speak, I think and I speak. In English, normally, if I are going to have a discussion, I try to calm down and then start thinking slowly, and give me more time to express myself better. That sometimes, yeah, jumping from thinking to speak.
So, for example, now you have a conversation with us here. What are you thinking now at this moment?
Well, try to listen to you while you're talking to me, but at the same time, I get nervous because I don't know how to respond correctly. You know what I mean?
But
So
do you
I
do
like
the
to-
translation? Do you translate?
Most of the time, no. I don't need to translate, but sometimes when I'm really nervous and know that many people are listening to me, yes, then I try to translate in my head, and that make me more uncomfortable in the conversation, you know, because I need more time to answer the questions.
Right. So if you do, Alan, if you look on YouTube, there are people that talk about thinking in the language you are learning.
Yeah.
And as it's so important, because otherwise you're doing 4 processes. You're going in one, changing into another, coming back and coming back. So it takes you too long. And also, as you cannot translate literature from one to the other, you will never get out of the bad habit. So have a look on YouTube. There are lots of people that can advise, and maybe you find someone that will help you. Right then, Annie, you said you speak how many languages? 3 languages.
Yes.
And speaking English, has that affect your outlook on life? Has it changed you as a person, or are you just the same person?
Personally, I'm still the same person, but the way I think about something, about my perspective, and of course, I'm unchanged. Because you know what, when it depends on who I'm talking with. So when I'm dealing with worldwide people, and of course, I have to entering English soul, because every language has their own soul. So, for example, if I learn, I'm talking with my family here in Indonesia, and sometimes with my relative in Bali language. So I have to immerse myself in it. So a kind of, you know, when making a joke, especially making a joke in my mother tongue is not the same in English. It doesn't work. So that's why when we talking with people in English, especially with their level is very low, I didn't mean to break myself. Anyway, when I would like to make some joke, but they didn't understand, because the ability to comprehend the language is not very limited. It just distract me, to keep going on such jokes. So that's why I have to be very careful. I have to learn. Recognize their level, in English, especially.
Right. So this is my opinion. When you're learning a language, you have to learn a lot of things, which I don't think people realize. You mentioned it here. You have to learn the sense of humor of the country that you want to reflect. So the Spanish sense of humor is not the same as the English one. What I find funny in one language will not go into the next because of the tradition of the culture. So when you are learning a language, you have a lot of things that you need to take into consideration: the culture, the tradition, the sense of humor, the way people are. Lots of things. It's not just like words on paper or words speaking. There's lots of things. And I think that's what people are missing. When they are learning language, they are like a bit like a robot, maybe, and they are missing some essence, some flavoring, to bring it more to life, no?
Can I ask Nieves a question?
Yes.
Nieves, you say you speak Espanol. If you were flown across to the capital in Madrid, would the language you use be exactly the same as that spoken in Madrid?
Sorry, Alan?
So if you traveled to another part of Spain,
Yes.
for example, he said Madrid, would you speak exactly the same way as we do here in the south?
Oh no, completely different, Alan.
Why is that?
It's completely different, the accent.
But you say you speak Spanish.
I speak Spanish, but in Spain, the accent and the way that you talk is completely different from Madrid and here in the south.
It doesn't surprise me then, yeah.
So let's go back, Alan. If you think of England, if where you are from, you're from the south, Alan, and I'm from the north, and I will say words you will not understand because of colloquialism. And also our accent. You have a very soft accent, Alan. I've got a very hard accent from the north. Right? So we have different accents and we have different mannerisms, depends on our family. So Nieves speaks like they do in the south. What is typical about the south? Their accent. They eat the ends of the words. They run the words together. They speak very fast. And also they have different words for different things. So everyone, we have to finish here for today. And we will say toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.